Hello, welcome. I'm Sara Bachmeier with Egyptian Numerology. If you have had a spiritual awakening, then it is almost a given to have experienced a period in your life called the dark night of the soul. And depending on your calling in life, maybe even more than once. All messages from the great masters speak of the importance in fulfilling our purpose and our soul life mission. For those of us that incarnated with a high purpose to shift humanity into the light, the path has been lonely, disrupted, and not always clear. In my book, Egyptian Numerology, Emergence into the Fifth Dimension, I made many references to the master numbers, wounded healers, and the dark night of the soul. Besides being a factor found in master numbers, we also find these terms illustrated in the numerology of the number 6 and the number 9. So what is the dark night of the soul? The dark night of the soul is a period of spiritual desolation, disconnection, and emptiness, in which one feels totally separated from the divine. Those who experience the dark night feel completely lost, hopeless, and can be consumed with anguish. The dark night of the soul is similar to severe spiritual despondency. The concept of the dark night of the soul has existed for a long time, spanning back to the 16th century, when poet and Catholic mystic Saint John of the Cross wrote a poem entitled La Noche Oscura del Alma. If a man wishes to be sure of the road he's traveling on, then he must close his eyes and travel in the dark. The dark night of the soul is not just depression, because depression has its roots in biological chemical imbalances, unhealthy thought patterns, and surfaces from a personal loss, a mental illness, physical illness, abuse, and genetics. Having a dark night of the soul is a different experience because it is primarily a spiritual form of crisis that cannot be treated or cured with psychiatry or therapy. Those of us going through the dark night feel an increasingly sense of hopelessness, unease, and despair when we discover that no one can save us but ourselves. Inevitably, we feel more alone, frustrated, confused about the world and ourselves. And when depression ends, not much changes in our lives in terms of beliefs, values, and habits. But when the dark night of the soul ends, everything in our life is transformed and enhanced with an astonishing view through the looking glass of new eyes. A true dark night of the soul leaves a long-lasting impact because it changes us completely. When exiting a dark night, we discover that something is always taken away from us, and always for the better, such as our beliefs, perceptions, a former meaning in life, or even our ego. It is terrifying when the ground beneath our feet is ripped out from beneath us. And this is precisely what we experience during the dark night of the soul. Before any true growth or healing occurs, there must be a process of destruction and complete annihilation of everything we thought would bring us happiness. There are 3 ways that spiritual awakenings occur. The first one is at the hands of a wise spiritual teacher. The second is through the spiritual motivation of soulfully mature people. And the third is spontaneously due to life circumstances. Spontaneous awakenings arrive in several ways. We experience change in an intensely uncomfortable way. We may suddenly lose our job, get betrayed by our romantic partner, lose someone close to us, have terminal diagnosis, old age, near-death experience, a physical accident, suicidal depression, destruction of our home or homeland, or the complete loss of our religious faith. And why does this happen to us? Because we are meant for so much more than what we have. When the universe intervenes, it is because we did not have the courage to seek it out unless we were put in a severely difficult position. If you find yourself in this situation, always ask to be shown the best possible outcome for everyone involved. Because the biggest blessings are disguised as the lowest points in our lives. The dark night is a herald and an omen of change that lets us know we cannot continue living the way we've been living. There is no growth and no awakening without first seeing and acknowledging our existing disappointments. Acknowledging our disappointments means becoming aware of a deeply held sense of incompletion that we all carry within us. It means becoming aware that something is desperately missing from our lives. And those that have experienced or currently experiencing a dark night of the soul know that something fundamental at a core level is out of balance, focus, or completely lacking in their lives. Those going through a dark night sense that so much more is possible in their lives, even though they don't know exactly what it is. The solution and freedom to one's suffering and disconnection from the divine realm is through methods of purging, cutting away, dislodging, disintegrating, and clearing old pieces of our lives so that we can begin afresh. The dark night is a process of shedding our old home and going in search of a new one. And this process requires a huge leap of faith into the abyss of the unknown, which comes at quite a sudden and frightening pace. The universe not only gives us what we want, it gives us what we need. It uses any means possible to get our attention, including sickness, death, grief, loss, fear, and in some circumstances, even the people we love. It discovers ways to show us what we have hidden in the depths of our being, so we can come back into remembrance, knowingness, and take action. It delivers our conscious awareness back to the surface so that we can address, heal, and learn everything that will lead us to our intended destiny. If you think you're going through this journey, it is important to understand that many of us have been where you are, and many people still are. There is no map or GPS. There is only the flickering luminance of your soul to light the way. I hope our work encourages, emboldens, and supports you while undertaking the descent into your underworld. You are never alone, and soon that small flicker within becomes a guiding torch for the next person receiving this lesson and blessing. If you would like some guidance, you can always contact me through my website at www.egyptiannumerology.org. Blessings on your path. Namaste.